Greg Abbott obviously is doing everything he can to try to undo a mess that he has made. But let's make no mistake about it. What Greg Abbott has ruled is that families do not deserve to know where these dangerous chemicals are stored. And there's absolutely no excuse for that.
Joining us now for the interview tonight is the Democratic candidate for governor of Texas. She's running against Greg Abbott. She's State Senator Wendy Davis. Senator Davis, thanks very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Rachel.
So why do you think that Greg Abbott is wrong on this chemicals decision, and what would you do differently?
Well, there's no mistaking that he's wrong. And as you said earlier, for decades in Texas, it's been our practice to comply with the law that President Reagan helped to shepherd through, the Community Right to Know Act, because parents deserve to know whether they are living or their children are going to school or their parents might be in a nursing home that's next to one of these facilities that stores dangerous chemicals. And there's simply no excuse for suddenly reversing course in what the state has done for decades in compliance with that law and hiding that information from parents across this state.
Is this one of those issues?
As governor,
I'm sorry, let me just interrupt you there for a second. Is this one of those issues where I'm looking at this from New York and you're looking at it from Texas, and there's some weird ideological rift about this story that I can't see? There's some mysterious Texas Republican ideological attitude that makes them opposed to something like that, even though they would have supported it in the Reagan era? Do you know what's driving this change?
You know, I think when you look at what drove the change with Abbott, you need to look no further than the campaign contributions that he's received from the Koch brothers, who have at least one of these facilities that stores these dangerous chemicals in the state of Texas.
What would you do differently as governor?
As governor, and as I laid out today in a couple of press conferences that I've held, I will call for an emergency item to be placed on the legislative calendar so that this issue can immediately be taken up and addressed by the Texas legislature before the typical 60-day period of time that it takes for legislation to be considered, and for the legislature to act in a way that gives true meaning, once again, to the Community Right to Know Act and empowers Texas families with information to help keep their families safe and to make decisions about where they'll live and where they'll put their children in school, to give our school districts the ability to decide where to build their schools, where hospitals should be built, where nursing homes should be built, so that we can assure as much as possible that communities across this state are safe.